What's up guys, it is T-Ball and I'm back with another video. So today we're going to be going over the 5 dumbest signings of the 2018 NBA free agency. So before I start, if you want to see more daily NBA content just like this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and also be sure to turn on post notifications so you can stay updated on when my news video will be coming out. So the 2018 NBA free agency has been a wild one, and lots of players switched teams through trades and signings. Cap space was pretty limited this offseason, so many teams didn't have much money to work with. But even with this limitation, there were still some very questionable moves made this offseason, whether it be signings based on the size of the contract or fit on the team. While these contracts aren't as bad as the ones from back in the 2016 NBA free agency, these aren't great moves in my opinion. So let's go over the 5 dumbest signings and worst contracts of this year's free agency. So first up, I have Michael Carter-Williams, who signed a 1-year, $1.8 million deal with the Houston Rockets. MCW has struggled mightily in the NBA even during his rookie season, where he put up some decent numbers but on terrible efficiency. Carter-Williams is still a very poor finisher at the rim, and he still hasn't developed a 3-point shot after all these years. He hasn't shot over 30% from 3 once in his entire NBA career, and this will not work very well in the Houston Rockets' 3-heavy offense. Carter-Williams doesn't look like he'll be of any good use on offense, as he simply cannot shoot from really anywhere on the floor. So, why did the Rockets sign him? Well, the only reason why I think they did this was that they think he could be a solid defender with his height and length. They're hoping he could be able to switch easily on defense, but even if MCW proves to be a solid defensive point guard, if he can't shoot threes or even score at the rim, his positive defense will be outweighed by his huge negative on offense. When MCW is on the floor, teams can simply leave him wide open and dare him to shoot, while doubling bigger threats like James Harden, Chris Paul, and Eric Gordon. This is a very questionable signing for the Rockets, and I wouldn't be surprised to see MCW waive before the season ends for Houston. Next up, I have Sobah, who signed a 3-year, $21 million deal with the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't have a problem with Sobah the player, as I think he's a great floor spacer, who is also a great rebounder as well. He's a solid player who helps give something the Bucks really need, which is more shooting. However, the contract he got was very surprising and, in my opinion, way too much. With a lot of teams lacking cap space, the Bucks decided to give him $7 million a year for 3 years. The Bucks had all the leverage in negotiating a deal, as they could point out to Sobah and his agent that not many teams have cap space. I think the Bucks could have gotten him for much cheaper on something like a 2-year, $10 million deal. The Bucks overpaid for Sobah, but hopefully he'll play like he did for the Sixers last season and give the Bucks a big boost off the bench. Zach LaVine's contract is also a mess for the Chicago Bulls, as he signed a 4-year, $78 million deal with the Kings that was later matched by Chicago. Lavine is a solid player, but for almost $20 million a year, that's a no-go for me. Lavine is coming off a season where he shot under 40% from the field after he suffered an ACL tear the season prior. He's never been a very efficient player, and while he's a good spot-up shooter, he has trouble staying efficient when creating his own shots. But that's not the main problem with Lavine. The big issue is his defense. Lavine has a career 114 defensive rating and a negative 2.5 DBPM. He doesn't put much effort on this side of the floor, and he tends to get lost a lot as well. He has all the tools to be a good defender, but he just doesn't seem to care on defense. If Lavine wants a chance to live up to this big contract, he's really going to have to try it on the defensive side of the floor and improve his efficiency as well. Doug McDermott is a solid role player for any team with his solid shooting that helps spread the floor and give other rooms to drive and operate. However, like the Bucks, I think the Pacers gave him way too much money with a 3-year, $22 million deal. Many teams did not have much cap space, and I think the Pacers could have gotten Doug McBuckets for much cheaper. He's a great shooter, as he's a career 40.3% 3-point shooter, but besides shooting, he doesn't really do much else when he's on the floor. He's not a great passer or rebounder, and he's a pretty bad defender as well. He has a career 112 defensive rating and negative 2.3 DBPM, and while he's improved over the past few seasons, he is still definitely a net negative. I think the Pacers should have tried to get someone like Joe Harris, as he's a great shooter but also a solid passer, rebounder, and defender. He got a similar contract to McDermott, and I think he would have been a much better pickup for Indiana. Finally, I think the Jazz overpaid for Dante Exum, as they gave him a 3-year, $33 million deal this offseason. Exum has suffered multiple injuries over his career, and he missed the entire 2015-16 season and 68 games last season because of them, and when he is on the court, his play does not justify anything close to $11 million a year. He can't shoot threes with a career 30.6% from 3, and he still misses a ton of easy layups at the rim. The Jazz gave him this contract based on his potential, and it's going to be on Exum to live up to it. Still, I think Exum's potential doesn't justify this contract alone, as I highly doubt any team was going to offer a contract as good as the one that Exum got. The Jazz could have just waited for a team to make an offer that would have likely been less than $11 million a year, and just match it after he signs a deal. But it is what it is, and hopefully, Exum will play well enough to live up to his contract, as he has the quickness and length to be a really good defender and also be a solid driver at the rim. But the main question with Exum is if he will ever stay healthy enough to be on the floor, and we can only hope he will be. Overall, the 2018 NBA free agency was a very exciting one, and in general there weren't too many bad contracts. Even the ones that were bad, they weren't as bad as the ones we've seen in recent years, so these guys do have a chance to live up to their contracts. But some guys are just very questionable fits on their new teams like Michael Carter-Williams, and hopefully everything will work out for them. We'll see what happens, and I'm definitely excited for this new season to start. So that's a wrap. Thanks guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video and want to see more daily NBA content just like this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and also be sure to turn on post notifications so you can stay updated on when my newest video will be coming out. Also follow me on Instagram and hit me up if you want to talk about basketball, business, or have any video ideas you want me to do. Let me know, as I do try to get back to all you guys there. Let me know down in the comments below on what you think was the worst deal in this year's free agency, as I do read all comments and I'll definitely try to get back to most of you guys here as well. So once again, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon for my next video. Peace.